Hello, and welcome to Bio 105. This is environmental biology, and my name is Professor Kirsten Newtoff, and you're going to see my face a lot. This video is pretty similar to actually how I run all of the lectures in this class. The class is not run similar to a lot of other online classes that you may have taken. I don't have you read a textbook. I don't just send you to YouTube looking at things that I personally didn't make. So this is kind of giving you a feel of what this course is going to look like. So as an environmental biology course, honestly, this is my favorite course that I teach. Here at Montgomery College, I teach this course. I also teach a majors biology course that focuses on kind of environmental stuff. It's looking at ecology and evolution. But this is what my background is. My background is environmental biology and environmental science. This picture is actually one of my favorite pictures. You'll see it outside of my office as well. It's called Earthrise. And this was actually the first picture of Earth that was taken from the moon landing. It's a really powerful picture because you can see, one, how small we are in the grand scheme of things, and kind of getting an idea of that's it. That's all we have is this blue marble, and that's it. So that's what we're going to explore in this class. And this video is just trying to give you an overview of some of the things we'll talk about, and I'll also introduce myself a little bit more so that you realize that I'm a person too that might have similar interests to you and something that you can reach out about. So this course, you're probably taking it because you need to as one of your natural sciences classes. Now this course can help with one of two sections, and so this is my role as an advisor to make sure that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. So depending on your degree program, most people need one class, which is a natural sciences with a lab, and they need one class that's natural sciences without a lab. If you are taking just this course, Bio 105, this is completing natural sciences without a lab. However, if you need a lab course, I highly recommend taking Biology 106. You do not have to take it the same semester. If you go through this class and you really like it, you can choose to take the 106 course in the following semester or following 2 semesters. If you take both of those courses, so 105, which you're obviously currently taking, and take 106, then both of those classes together count as a natural sciences with the lab. As someone who has taught, say, Biology 101, the lab for environmental is a lot easier and a lot more fun than general biology. I can't speak for any other classes, but just want to put that out there. I do teach the lab. They don't have online labs, which for some of you that might be a requirement that you need. But just letting you know, that's an option for you. So what does this course look at? So all these words on here are the actual course outcomes from the course catalog. I am not going to go through word by word. You guys can read. But briefly, first thing we're going to look at is essentially how is biology split up. When we're talking about humans and human activity affecting organisms and ecosystems and populations and communities, it's really important to understand the difference between all of those. And by understanding those differences, we can understand how human activity is affecting each of those levels. Not only will we look at how humans are affecting the environment, but we'll also look at maybe some of the things we've done and see, has it been sustainable? Yes, we're having issues with food, but what are some things we've done, and is it working? Is it not working? And if it's not working, then what are some solutions to that? So we explore all sorts of topics in this class, and I try to make it really topical. We'll talk about climate change. We'll talk about pollution. We'll talk about, for example, the Flint water crisis, endangered species. So we're going to look at a lot of different topics, and what's great about this course is that most of you guys know something about these topics. Even if you've never taken a science class or you never paid attention in a science class, you've probably heard people talking around you. You've probably seen the news or seen things on social media. So we're going to address a lot of the things that you've seen and actually look at the science behind it. And that'll make you just a more informed person when it comes to these issues that we hear about all the time. Now this is an online class, and it is 100% online. For all the tests, they're all online. You do not need to come to a testing center. You never need to come to campus if you don't want to. With that being said though, I do teach on the Germantown campus and I am available to you. If you want to email me questions, that's great. But if you also want to come meet with me in person, I encourage it. I'm here. I'm here all the time. I'll also have opportunities if you like having the professor around when you take a test. We have the Science Learning Center here on the Germantown campus, and I'm going to actually be available for you in the Science Learning Center if you're like, hey, can I use the computers in there? And then I can ask you questions, while I'm taking it. You don't have to do this, you can do it at home, but I know that some students like having the professor there in order to ask questions. So if you think you might want to use that, you totally can, and you'll get more info about that. There also might be some extra credit opportunities that I offer my on-campus students anyway that I'll offer to you guys. They're usually not worth that many points, but I'll still make that available to you. But there will never be a reason that you need to come to campus for actual points and for an actual grade in the course. There is a kind of group project. You will see another video about this when I introduce that project, but the essence of it is that you will be working with a team. You guys will be doing individual work though. It's just you're working in a team to do it, but you'll be assigned to one task. You do that task, you get graded for that task, end of task. So if you've done group projects before and you're like, this sucks because it's hard working with people I never see, hopefully it won't be that bad. We'll see though, and I'll talk about more of that later. Now I will warn you, in a good or bad way, depending on what you like, this is a very active course. I am always available on my email. You can email me anytime, and I usually get back to you within the day. I usually honestly get back to you within 10 minutes, but sometimes I'm in class or whatnot. I also expect stuff from you guys. You can't just take this course and not do anything. Just doing the tests isn't enough. The tests are worth, I think, 50% of your grade. 50% of your other part of the grade is actually doing things. And I try not to give you busy work. It's actually things that apply to what you've learned so far. I also just want to make a note. When I make these videos, such as this course overview video or the lecture videos, I've made them in summer 2018 or beforehand. Making these videos is actually quite a bit of work. I know it might not seem like it, but it is. And so I try to reuse videos for the most part. And during the summertime, I have a lot more time. During the fall and spring semesters, I don't have a lot of time. So I usually try to just keep the same videos between semesters. With that said, some of the information I give you might be dated. However, along with all the videos, I have some sort of weekly guide that will have information that I've typed that I can very easily change semester to semester. So if you're watching a video and you're like, wow, she knows nothing, that was so 2 years ago, you're right, it probably was, and I do recognize that. But I will always update that information, at least in the weekly guide. So just giving you that heads up, it's not because I'm lazy. Well, I guess it kind of is, but it's mainly because I just really won't have time otherwise. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Obviously, I'm a professor here at Montgomery College, and just looking at my background, I went to a 4-year school. I went to Radford University in Virginia, where I got my bachelor's degree in biology, but I minored or focused on environmental biology. And then I do have a master's degree that's from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and there I actually studied marine biology. Now that marine biology, here in this picture I'm holding a baby pelican, which is nearly full grown, and I was looking at mercury. So mercury is a pollutant that humans release into the atmosphere, and it gets into organisms, particularly aquatic organisms at the top of the food web, which we'll talk about in this course. So although my degree is marine biology, it was actually a huge environmental problem that made up my thesis. So I'm really into wildlife, and really my focus in life is how are humans affecting wildlife, but really the environment as a whole. Kind of on a more personal level, some other places I've worked. So I used to work at NASA at Goddard Space Flight Center down in Greenbelt, Maryland. NASA does more than space stuff and astrophysics things and engineering. I was a geospatial analyst, which essentially I just used satellite images of Earth to answer biological problems. So for example, I worked on a sea turtle project in Maryland, looking at these sea turtle deaths that happen every year, and then I was looking at satellite imagery to see, oh, well, if it's rainier at this part of the year, is there more deaths? Or if there's more, chlorophyll, meaning there's more algae, are there more deaths? So I was using satellite imagery to answer these kind of environmental issues going on. A lot of people ask why I left, and the reason I left is because I love teaching. And I was teaching at Prince George Community College for a couple years. I taught at Montgomery College part-time for a year. And working on these part-time jobs, I knew what I wanted to do with my life, but wasn't getting a full-time job anywhere, so I made a huge move to China. And in China, I was teaching at an international high school, so the students spoke varying levels of English, but I was teaching science classes, so biology, physical science. I was also teaching health, like the PE and health class, and also teaching a psychology class. So this was our students. This is 9th and 10th grade students, and this was actually on my last day there. I only worked there for one semester because then I got my full-time job here at Montgomery College. So I started here full-time spring 2016, and I plan on dying here. I say that just because I really do love my job. I love what I do, and hopefully you guys will see that in this course, just the passion I have for this course. And then finally, kind of on a personal level, kind of the things that I enjoy doing. So I love to travel. I didn't start traveling until I finished college, and it's been amazing. So I try to save all the money I make just to support traveling. For example, this was this past summer, so summer 2018. Me and a couple friends, we went to Costa Rica, which if you are really interested in science, highly, highly, highly recommend. I saw so many birds, really awesome tree frogs. I saw sloths, really amazing experience. I also have been on a trip around the world. I did this last year in 2017. I went to Egypt, I went to China, I went to Germany, I went to Rome, I went to Spain. Not only did I go to the Great Wall in China, I went to 2 other places in China, and I did that all by myself, like literally a solo trip. So if you're ever like, oh, I want to travel, but I have no one to go with, screw that. You don't need anyone to go with. You can go by yourself. I also travel in the United States too, so this summer in 2018, I went to San Francisco, just another solo trip that I tacked on with a work trip. And that was really cool just to be able to see more of the United States too. I'm a total nerd. I will make references in the lectures that are to nerdy things that you may or may not be familiar with. This is a picture from PAX, which is a huge video game and board game and virtual reality gaming conference. I skipped classes last year just to go to this. So just me and some of my friends in front of a League of Legends poster. But I'll talk about board games a lot. I love board games. So you'll just letting you know. And then finally, if you ever come to see me on campus, you might see me with a dog. The dog, it's either going to be a lab or a German Shepherd. I help raise guide dogs. So they're dogs that will eventually go to guide dog school. This really cool organization, but because they're a guide dog in training, I can bring them to class. So if you're ever like, I want to come have a meeting with you, but only when you have a dog, let me know and I will let you know what my dog schedule is. I only get them maybe once a year, or sorry, once a month, once every other month, but it's always fun when we have them at school. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions on a personal level, on a class level, just email me. You're also welcome to come visit me, but I know email is really convenient. So I hope you guys enjoy this class. I look forward to working with you this semester.